So hello everyone, I think we are now live. Hopefully you can see me clearly and hear me clearly. We're going to be making use of this present moment together to look at some Zen Buddhist teachings, specifically from the Korean Seon school, Korean Patriarch Zen school. So I think this will be quite a wonderful opportunity to stop our complicated thinking, our nonsense, our negativity, our self-fixated dreaming, and a moment to come home to our true nature, right? Present moment nature, present moment awareness. This quality of not someone in particular who's noticing something or experiencing something, but rather the noticing itself, the experiencing itself, and allowing that to take a primary position in our life. So please, if you are here watching the live stream, you can let me know if the audio and video are clear and good. And we will get started with our reading. We can begin actually with a few moments to find our breathing, to find that noticing mind. So we have access to, most of us, we have access to our sense faculties, in that we can hear, we can see, we can feel, and instead of making a story out of those experiences, or finding some kind of narrative that we are going through, we can really tune in, kind of tune the dial into our noticing of those present moment experiences. So in the hearing, we really hear the hearing. The content of the hearing is not much important. The particular things that we hear are not much important. And in the seeing, we see the seeing. Those particular things that we see, not much important, but to see the seeing. And also to breathe the breathing. It works just like lightning, it works quick, and it is a practice that does not rely on the particular subject or object or quality of the sound or the sight or the feeling, but rather in the noticing itself, the experiencing itself. There's a kind of freedom, there's a kind of present moment awareness. We can allow ourselves to sink into that regardless of the conditions, regardless of if things are the way that we would like them to be or if they are not, regardless of if we're on an upswing or a downswing, that present moment noticing of the breath, sensations in the body, sounds. We can allow ourselves to sink into that noticing, that experiencing itself. Usually we are sinking, our sinking experiences are sinking into the ideas and the beliefs and the stories about what we experience, how we judge it, how we try to control it and are either successful or fail at it. But here what's essential is we're sinking into the noticing and the experiencing. I love this word, effervescentness. There's an effervescentness about this. Quality of mind where there's the water, which is, we can say, our life itself or awareness itself, right here in the present moment, and that includes all aspects of ourselves, good and bad, meditative and the opposite of meditative. And in that water, in that life, present moment experiencing sound, sight, smell, taste, touch, feelings, thoughts, forms, past, future, all of these just bubbling up moment by moment here in the present moment. I love this teaching. It's a teaching, for me at least, about the reality of your original enlightenment, or the reality of your present moment experience, the truth of it, and how we connect with that truth through just noticing our breathing at the present moment, or noticing a sensation in the body, and how this can seem like we're avoiding something, or we're tricking ourselves, right? We're like putting a blindfold on, because actually the real big bad life that we have to deal with is somehow out there, right? It's somehow this golden book of ourself and our life and our past and future that's really out there, but we're just closing our eyes and, meditating and trying to relax or whatever. But I love this teaching that it's just like death. And this isn't something to think so strongly about, oh, death, or that's scary, but this immediacy of it, this reality of death, that it's so foundational to our life and our human experience, and yet it's not dependent upon any of our desires, our fears. It does not subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, it does not subscribe to our future aspirations. It does not subscribe to our regrets. It appears just like this, right here and now. So authentic, so intimate, right? That death just arrives so fully, so completely. There's no conversation, there's no debate, there's no, I've got, this much money in my bank account. No. Or I had to sleep at the McDonald's last night. No. Death arrives. And so too, our mindfulness, our present moment awareness, our entry into this inconceivable, incomprehensible, direct experience of reality as it is, arrives. So we can allow it to arrive, right? This small-minded, difficult, problematic person that I am, I'm sure that you are too, you can allow that to arrive. Allow that mindfulness to arrive. Allow it to stay. And how do we invite it? How do we allow it? How do we abide in it? That's our meditation method, right? That's following our breath as it flows in and flows out. That's going for a walk in nature, even though we feel tired, we feel depressed. That's how we can start with these kind of activities. And even to rub our fingers together. Present moment experiencing, it's right there, Or I've been really enjoying my big wooden balls. So I will do a meditation method where I just go one by one in different ways, but what is this? 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 So that kind of questioning, that bringing up of doubt, of wonder, of curiosity. It's like a bomb going off in this universe of our delusions and our worries and our fears. But those kleshas, those negative states of mind, that self-clinging, that self-perpetuating habit energy that we have, wants to maintain itself. It wants to continue. So even though there is this neutron star, of present moment awareness of breathing, step after step, sight after sight, this luminous brightness that is there, that point of mindfulness, even though that comes up and is there, we try to finagle it, we try to debate with it. We say, no, well, actually, I have cancer, so I can't be happy. I'm sick, so I can't do this, right? Or I'm sick, so I have to do this. And the mind and these self-afflictions, self-fixated afflictions, they just want to continue perpetuating themselves. They don't care about the truth. They don't even care about what is skillful or unskillful. It's just to perpetuate, to propagate, right? To continue. Me, my, I. And it's just a habit energy. It's not this big bad entity inside of ourselves, or this big bad story outside of ourselves. Other people aren't these entities, right? These real, true, separate self entities, but rather it's cause and effect, right? It's this habituation. We have this strong habit energy, and so it kind of has a momentum behind it. We need to remember our meditation method, and we need to enter into spaces like this. Also going for a walk in nature can be a space like this. So we can, and we do that habitually, so we use the power of habit against that habitual energy. Not necessarily against, but maybe to disempower it through its own power, which is habit. Simple terms, we come back to our meditation method again and again and again and again. And that's the practice, not the special experience that we get from it. Even you have a very, very special experience in meditation, it's no substitute for consistency. Okay, Randy Rudy said something here in the live chat on YouTube. I think about this meditative position that we take. And Randy Rudy says, I would like to compare it to a baby. They just feel and are and be nothing more. They aren't worried too much on the world or problems or whatever. So take a moment, close your eyes. Find the breathing. Breathe sincerely, breathe intimately. Breathe as if it's important. Give your attention to it, your interest to it. Breathing and noticing, breathing and aware. So the conditions are only important in terms of you being aware of those conditions and practicing in those conditions. In terms of the practice itself. So we're going to continue reading from this book today. We read yesterday or the day before from this book that's called Great Doubt, Great Enlightenment. And it's in the tradition and practice of Patriarch Seon in Korean Buddhism. How to reveal original Buddhahood. Before embarking on a Buddhist practice, the perspective of a practitioner is extremely important. Is practice the process of becoming a Buddha, or is one already a perfected Buddha? The path of gradually dissolving defilements through cultivation to help sentient beings become Buddhas is called gradual practice. This has been followed by the sectarian Buddhism and the northern Zen school of Master Shenzhou. The path inherited by Master Huineng, so this is the tradition of Zen that we most commonly know about and hear about, the tradition of Zen Buddhism. So the The school of Master Huineng contains the heart and soul of Patriarch Zen, transmitted by Patriarch Bodhidharma, and is the core of Seon, so this particular Korean Zen tradition. Let us examine the difference between the northern and the southern school through the verses of Shenzui and Huineng as recorded in the Platform Sutra of the Sixth Patriarch. So this is one of the most, like, the foundational Zen Buddhist texts. Zen Buddhist sutras is the Platform Sutra of the Sixth Patriarch. So we're going to kind of compare the sudden enlightenment idea with the gradual enlightenment idea. These writings were written during a contest where the fifth patriarch, the fifth great Zen master, asked all the students to write a verse describing their realization to see who would succeed him, so who would take over the temple and kind of take over the teaching role in the Zen school. This is way back in ancient China. So this monk Shenzui's verse read, "The body is the Bodhi tree. The mind is like a clear mirror. At all times you must strive to polish it and must not let dust alight." Okay? So here, the original nature of the mind is compared to a mirror. The clear nature can collect the dust of defilements like a mirror, which would prevent one from awakening. Thus, diligent polishing of this mirror would lead one to the true nature. Okay? So this gradual school says, hey, you've got a mirror, but it's covered in dust, and you need to polish it if you want to become enlightened. And this is quite reasonable. Yeah, this is quite a reasonable approach, I think. And this was Shenzui, so this is the gradual perspective, the gradual method. Huineng's verse read, "Bodhi originally has no tree. The bright mirror also has no stand. Since Buddha nature is always pure, where could dust alight?" Huineng's verse reveals a world different from that of Shenzui. As the pure Buddha nature is originally present, all one needs to do is awaken to it. Furthermore, because this mind doesn't have any form, but rather originally there is not a single thing, no dust can collect, and therefore it is not an object which can be polished. So some very deep and profound pointers here that kind of cuts to the core of the Buddha nature philosophy or the Zen philosophy. So as the pure Buddha nature is originally present, all one needs to do is awaken to it. It's already here. You don't need to polish anything. You don't need to change anything. This Buddha nature, this original nature, the truth is already here. You don't need to make it up. You don't need to do anything for the truth to be the truth. Okay? You can say present moment mindfulness is awakening. Furthermore, because this mind doesn't have any form, but rather originally there is not a single thing, no dust can collect, and therefore it is not an object which can be polished. Right? So a lot of times we can say what things are by saying what they aren't. So, are you your body? Is your fingernail you? You can take off your arms and your legs and still be you, right? So then it kind of goes without saying that you could take away a lot more of your body and still be you. But what would be left, right? What can you take away and still be you? What is you? And even then, that you is only separate from the world from a limited perspective, from a kind of closed-in, ignorant perspective. Because actually, if I'm not this fresh breath of oxygen, also, in terms of this body, well, then what could I be? The trees, the sunshine, the ocean, the earth. So even deeper than that, so we can go from being this isolated, separate self-entity. I am this body, this kind of person who does these kinds of things. Oh my goodness, I'm so great, I'm so bad, etc. We can take a broader perspective and then see that we are not separate from all material phenomena. Okay, we're not separate from the earth and the stars and the sun and the sky. But then we can look even more deeply. So we don't disempower ourselves, right? We don't take this you or this capacity to know your true face and put it over onto Jupiter, over onto Pluto. I've got to go to Pluto so I can see my true face, right? But what is the nature of all phenomena? Well, it's impermanent. So now we are also impermanent. So what is it that is impermanent? Don't know. Okay? Don't know. I don't know. But you don't just say, I don't know, and then, eat fried chicken. What is this? What is my original nature? What is my true nature? What is Zen? What are we talking about here? What is this? What's going on? And opening up and widening out to the present moment experiencing. Okay, this is the practice. This is the exploration of the human experience. Does anyone have any comments or questions thus far that they want to share? If you can practice don't know, if you can practice just breathing and being aware, this kind of opening up and widening out of your awareness, then stay with that. Let's look at this term. Let's invite this term of, okay. So we can say that space doesn't have any form, right? Or our awareness does not have any form. And that's why we we will say like, okay, I can lose my arm and I'm still me, right? And I'm not going to say that my arm, rotting in a landfill is me, so I've got to go hang out with it, right? I lose my arm, still me. So it's this kind of the awareness of the mind, right? Our mind's awareness and our mind's connection to this body, awareness of this body is in some sense um, what we say is me, but that awareness itself doesn't have a particular form. So I can lose this arm, I can lose that arm, and I can still say, oh, this is me, or what have you. Okay. The mind has no set form, just like space has no set form. Okay. So Huineng's verse, the sixth patriarch's verse, reveals a world different from that of Shenzui. Because Shenzui said, the mind is like a clear mirror. At all times you must strive to polish it and must not let any dust fall on it. Okay? But Huineng's verse, something different. As the pure Buddha nature is originally present now, all one needs to do is awaken to it. Furthermore, because this mind doesn't have any form, but rather, this is the phrase I wanted to look at, originally there is not a single thing. Originally there is not a single thing. Now, just what comes up for me quickly is all of my stuff, right? All the stuff, because we can get very high-minded to be like a philosopher or, this and that. But when I think about all the things that are important to me, this body, the relationships that I have, the objects that I like, the people that I know, these have existed for a little tiny short bit of time, right? 100 years ago, 500 years ago, which is almost no time, there was none of that. None of that at all, right? So at least for everything that I'm involved with and everything that I'm believing in, originally there is not a single thing is very reasonable. So to kind of digest that, and of course 100 years from now or 500 years from now, also, there's not going to be much of a single thing in terms of me and I. And that I like to see it as this is as relevant, at least, this is as relevant and as valid as, my story and my desires and my fears and my whole situation, right? My self-fixated situation that I am so constantly indulging in, right? And the permanence of it and the rigidity of it and being locked into it. That originally there is not a single thing. No dust can collect, and therefore it is not an object which can be polished. In your mind, your true mind that has no form, but rather this true mind where originally there is not a single thing, the awareness itself, the noticing itself, no dust can collect, and therefore it is not an object which can be polished, right? The mind, this awareness, is not something that can be trained or manipulated in any way. Let us further explore the meaning of original Buddhahood by consulting the sayings of the patriarchs. Patriarchs are these great enlightened Zen masters of the past. Zen master Huangbo was once questioned by a high government official called Pei Zhu. Pei Zhu asked, "What is the way, and can I practice it correctly?" Huangbo asked him back, "What is this way that you want to practice?" Let's read this again. This is the case. This is the cue. This is the question and answer. This is the case. High government official asked the Zen master. When you're face to face with people like this, it's intimate. Whether it's a Zen master, or if it is someone who is my goodness, what happened here? Are we still live, my friends? Everything still working okay? I had a connection thing just came up. This is a nice little room. I'm just at a coffee shop right by the temple. Okay, so please let me know if there's any connection issues, if everything's going smoothly. Wow, it's such an incredible gift. It's such a wonderful gift to have a platform like this where people can be with me and look at these teachings and practice with me. It's so inspiring, and it really it feels good to be here with you all. Okay, wonderful. The birds are singing. And practicing like this and talking about these teachings together in community brings this aliveness, this freshness, this vitality to the teachings, where it's not just something academic. I'm not an academic person, so it's wonderful. All right, so Zen Master Huangbo, this great high Zen master, right? King of the mind, the Pope of Zen, was questioned by a high government official. This is way back in the 800s, okay, ancient China. Pei Zhui asked, "What is the way, and can I practice it correctly?" Right? What is the way to enlightenment? What is the way to happiness, to freedom, to end this suffering, this hell that I'm in, right? What is the way, and can I practice it correctly? Huangbo asked him back, "What is this way that you want to practice?" You know, where do you think you're going? Where have you come from? What do you think you're going to gain? What do you think you're going to lose? This is it. This has to be it. Zui asked, "What is the way, and can I practice it correctly?" Huangbo asked him back, "What is this way that you want to practice?" To the question, "How can I practice the way correctly?" Huangbo essentially replied, "The way is already endowed within yourself. Why would you go through all the troubles of practice?" In other words, we are all originally Buddhas, so we don't have to practice to attain anything. The point is not to cultivate gradually to reveal the original Buddhahood, but to realize the mind ground immediately. This is the work, this is the practice, this is the right view. This is the right understanding. We have a song about that, right? We've got a classic song about that. Who's ready to sing? Do we have some singers in our YouTube audience? And while you're at it, you can leave a like, okay? You can give your thumbs up to our gathering at this moment. Who is ready to sing? Who is ready to sing? Okay, here we go. This song is "The Happiness is Here and Now." Nowhere to go, nothing to do, no longer in a hurry. Okay? All right, here we go, Nino. Let's sing together. Deep breath in. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. And I don't need to hurry. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Somewhere to go, something to do, but I don't need to hurry. Okay? Now, it's quite interesting, I think, we can point out how a song like that, maybe this is a song that you would imagine to teach to kindergarten kids, right? To children to sing a song like that because, oh, it's good for them to be happy and sweet and, what do they do? What do they know about the difficulty of the world, right? So just let them sing and be happy. How a song like that has such clear and direct parallels to the core of Zen Buddhism, to Patriarch Seon, right? To Patriarch Chan. So it's not this thing that is inaccessible, okay, and confusing and complicated, but actually it is right in front of us. It is accessible for us. It is here and now. Okay? And these two lines, these two stanzas of nowhere to go, nothing to do, okay? Enjoy your Buddha nature. somewhere to go, something to do. Yeah, life is like that sometimes. You get into, weird situations. If you go to the porta potty, don't stay in there, get out of there, right? Somewhere to go, something to do. No need to hurry, no need to rush, no need to rely on our complicated, contrived thinking in how we move forward in our lives, step by step, eating, sleeping, drinking, okay, doing the necessities of life, okay. But we need to open ourselves up to the dropping of our assumptions, the dropping of our judgments, the dropping of the importance that we give to our preferences. And this is all something that is active, and we do it now. And it's an unraveling, it's an opening, it's a stepping back from things that we're already doing, kind of unconsciously, and to be aware of the momentum and the habitual energy behind these activities, the importance that we're giving to these preferences as they arise, okay? The importance that we're giving to these decisions that these actions that we feel we need to do or need not to do. It's to step back from all that. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Happiness is here and now. Freedom is here and now. Peace is here and now. It's just like that. Now, why must one practice if one is originally a Buddha? Because, if we don't listen to these kinds of teachings, if we don't get involved, if we don't take care, if we don't step forward, then things stay the same, right? We stay in our bed suffering from depression, or making up these big stories in our mind, and we just drown in it, right? So why must one practice if one is originally a Buddha from this Patriarch Zen perspective? Why? Maybe it doesn't quite make sense. If one is originally a Buddha, why does one need to practice? It is because one has fallen into the illusion that I exists. And thus, one is not aware or does not see that one is originally a Buddha. Now, I think the modern issue that a lot of us are dealing with is that we kind of have this understanding, but instead of looking towards peace or freedom or recognizing our freedom and then moving forward from that and aligning with that, we're actually moving towards our pleasure and good conditions and then aligning with that. So we're relying on this pleasure-seeking mind. And so when we fall into this I illusion, when it's negative, we suffer, we're miserable, etc. But then when we see some positivity or some pleasure, we kind of, oh, here we go, I. This keeps us trapped in this treadmill of I, of self-fixation. We basically stay in the same zone of thinking for our whole lives because we're stuck in belief in illusion and relying on illusion. Okay. If one is originally a Buddha, if one is originally free, enlightened, present moment aware, 100% free, enlightened, bright. If one is originally a Buddha, why does one need to practice? Okay, what is the need? It is because if one is originally a Buddha, why does one need to practice? It is because one has fallen into the illusion that I exists, that this I, this self, this separate self entity is real. And thus, because we've fallen into that illusion of identification with the body, identification with thoughts, feelings, forms that are here, and thus, because we've fallen into that illusion, thus, one is not aware or does not see that one is originally a Buddha, that one is originally free, that originally there is not a single thing. Originally there is not a single thing to defend, to grasp, to fix, to hide from, to run towards, to make better, to make worse. Originally there is not a single thing now, here. So, one practices to see one's original face. One practices to see one's original face, not to get what they want, not to improve the mind, not to become more powerful, okay? Even to become more peaceful, but rather one practices to see one's original face. This is like the perspective, the approach of why we practice. The Buddha mentions many times, as one is originally a Buddha, nothing to cultivate or attain. This, however, is not meant for sentient beings who do not know that they were originally Buddhas. Generations of Zen masters did not say, never practice, just loaf about doing nothing. If one does not practice, one is just an ordinary being. That's why arduous practice is stressed. Why is it so? Why is one told to practice if there is no need to practice? This is because normal life circumstances stop sentient beings from being capable of fully reawakening to their original Buddhahood. However, although our current life situation might make it difficult, we have to practice arduously because our original nature is Buddha, and we must realize that. Right? We must see that clearly and thoroughly. Our practice should start from the place of being Buddhas. Practice means to believe that everyday mind is Buddha, that mindfulness is awakening, and not to discriminate phenomena according to conceptual thinking. So we step back from discrimination based on conceptual thinking. It sounds very highbrow, but also it's very simple and accessible that we practice it now. We experience it now. Even a simple sensation, right? A pinch, painful, pleasurable, that we don't discriminate about that or create narratives about that based on conceptual thinking. Just is as it is at this moment. Practice means to believe that everyday mind is Buddha, and not to discriminate phenomena according to conceptual thinking. This means that we can unravel this psychosis of our daily life, this psychosis that we carry around with us all the time, thinking about our story and other people's story and awkwardness and what to do and what not to do. Everyday mind is Buddha. Not to discriminate phenomena according to conceptual thinking, moment by moment, present moment awareness. This is not a fabricated practice. The deluded, however, cannot believe this and thus suffer in the midst of defilements. The mind that does not fabricate this or that is essential, okay, is fundamental, is foundational. So when we start to practice in this way, when we start to bring up this quality of mind as is being described here, we may feel, okay, we may feel that there is, it's like we're faking it, or that this isn't authentic, right? This isn't an authentic way to be. Actually, we do need to conceptualize and make up stories and have a right story and a believable story, etc. Okay? But rather, listen to this. Our practice should start from the place of being Buddhas. So our practice should start from a place of mindfulness with confidence and simplicity. Things as they are here and now, and entering into that. Breathing with that, being with that. Not this big complicated narrative about levels or bad or better, okay? Our practice should start from the place of being Buddhas, from the place of being peaceful and free and exactly here and now. Practice means to believe that everyday mind is Buddha. So the normal mind is essentially free, is essentially peaceful, and that's present moment mind. Okay? And not to discriminate, not to pick and choose about phenomena or make up stories according to conceptual thinking. This is not so much talking about practical thinking or doing what you need to do or what you should do, but this is more talking about the practice of realizing your Buddha nature, of facing your original mind. Okay? This is not a fabricated practice. So this line's important. This is not a fabricated practice. This is not an inauthentic practice. This is not a convoluted kind of made-up practice. Everyday mind is Buddha. Death is right here. Birth is right here. Present moment mindfulness is reality itself here and now. This is not a fabricated practice. Just in the same way that the reality of death is not a fabricated belief. It's right here. Okay? Easy to arrive, easy to go. The deluded, however, those people who are stuck in delusionary thinking, okay, cannot believe this, and thus suffer in the midst of defilements, the midst of difficulties and negative states of mind. Okay? The mind that does not fabricate this or that is essential. The mind of open awareness, the mind of dropping away. Thus, Zen Master Mazu said, "The way does not require cultivation. Just do not be polluted." What is pollution? With your fluctuating mind of birth and death, you discriminate, turn toward, or fabricate things. All of this is pollution. If you want to know the way, realize that everyday mind is the way. Why is it so? It is because in this mind there is no creation, no right or wrong, no choosing, no discontinuity or permanence, and no ordinary being or saint. Letting go of fabricating right or wrong is meant to remove discriminative thinking. In the previous quote, Huangbo confirmed that when one maintains equanimity without any discriminative knowledge, the true nature can be revealed. Equanimity is this balanced, calm, accepting, embracing, present moment awareness. Replying to the question, how must one practice the way to attain enlightenment, Mazu said, one's nature is originally pure. Just don't linger over good or bad. This is called the true practice of the way. Not lingering over good or bad means not discriminating or choosing according to a deluded frame of reference. Likewise, when we practice Hua-Du, we need to believe firmly in our original Buddhahood to experience and confirm it. So Hua-Du is the meditation method we talked about a little bit yesterday, or the day before, about what is this, okay? Or what was my original face before my parents were born? These kinds of questions. Okay, so let's take some time to sit together. Just make sure that you're comfortable. Okay, comfortable, stable position for your body. Stretch your legs a little bit if you need to. You can close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Not to really do anything in particular. Just to listen. Just to breathe, just to be aware of the body sitting where it's at. We can bring to mind that mantra of nowhere to go, nothing to do. Just breathing. Just aware. And the thoughts or difficulties that may come up when we practice like this, maybe me speaking is a difficulty right now, right? But the sensations in the body or a thought or uncomfortableness, enter that. Face it and experience it, and the lack of this self-story, this big, balloon of complicatedness, just to breathe and to enter into that present moment experience and allow that to be this reminder, right? To come home, to just simplify, to just be aware, to just breathe. That difficulty we feel can be ordinary, almost pleasant, right? Almost freeing. Just breathing and feeling, breathing and aware. mind comes up and kind of wants to get a hold of us, wants to convince us about something, to be agitated, to be in a state of desire, to be in a state of knowing, being convinced, right? Just to notice, just to be aware, and then our meditation method is this power, this anchor to come back to present moment experiencing, calming, relaxing, and then just aware, just noticing. And uninvolved even with that involvement, right? Even with that state of mind that comes up, and even though it's there, not to be involved with it, just to breathe, just to allow. Originally, there is not a single thing. The mind without a form, okay, the mind that does not rely on story, but rather story arises and passes away. Things, all phenomena, mental or physical phenomena, moment by moment, arising and passing away. But the mind is a clear blue sky, breathing and aware. Ordinary mind, just breathing, just aware. we can make plans, we can have these big ideas that come up that maybe they are important or they are real, but also the dropping of those ideas, the dropping of the realness and the importance that we give to those clouds coming and going, possibilities arising and passing away. We don't need to be a monk, a wandering monk, to do that. We can experience it with our practice. Okay, my friends, let's end our meditation practice here. And in wrapping up, if anyone has a question or wants to share something about their experience, then you can do it, okay? So just leave the place open for a little bit, and if you'd like to ask a question or share something, please do. I'm happy to hear from you about your experience, or if you have a question, okay? Whatever meditation method that we hear about or develop an interest to practice is not very important. What is essential and so is very, very important is that we find a meditation method that resonates with us, that connects with us, so that we can practice it consistently. Okay? Something that is simple, that brings us to the present, that probably, for most of us, something that brings us to the body. So the feelings, the sensations of breathing, or even a mala like this you can use. This one's starting to break. This brings you back to the present moment, and it's not about some belief or some special kind of color or chakra or healing that's taking place, but rather it's a matter of your consistency and your willingness to come back, right? And this practice is very, very, very important. Okay. Recently, I have been practicing with the Huato method, and I am a big fan of that. But whatever your method is, you can try it. You can see what kind of success. The reading that we read from today and looked at is emphasizing the view that we bring to our meditation. Okay, so we can either bring the view of trying to get more enlightened, or to become enlightened, or to heal ourselves, or to get something out of the practice. We can approach it that way, or we can approach it from this Zen perspective of enlightenment is here and now. Present moment mindfulness is awakening. Okay, and so it is not to clean your mirror or to create some kind of enlightenment, but it is to recognize your nature. It is to recognize what's already there, what's already here, and to approach the meditation with that perspective, with that mindset. So that is kind of to meditate with the right understanding, the Zen understanding. Okay? And you can see what my understanding has done. My beads are falling apart. My wooden spheres are falling apart. So thank you all for joining and practicing with me. Hope to see you again soon. Hope you get some benefit from these practices, these teachings, this sharing. And may you be well, happy, and peaceful in your life, in your journey. And may you remember that the mind is a clear blue sky. Clouds come, clouds go. Worries come, worries go. But the mind and you are a clear blue sky. Thank you, friends. Take care.